38, and the City of Sandy Oaks Park Advisory Committee meeting is hereby starting. I've kind of amended that slightly. And it's Tuesday, July 20th at 6:38 p.m. By telephonic video conferencing for the purpose of considering the following agenda items. All agenda items are subject to action in an effort to advance the public health goal of limiting face-to-face meetings, also called social distancing, to slow the spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19. There will be no in-person public access to the meeting. The public may participate in this meeting by using the link, and I won't read the link. It's available by going to the city website. So is the meeting ID, and you can call in by the numbers are also available on the website. The public will be permitted to offer public comments telephonically or by audio as provided by the agenda and permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting. Written questions or comments may be submitted to the chairperson up to 2 hours before the meeting by emailing trapino@cityofsandyoaks.com. Okay, the meeting is called to order, and we'll take a quorum call. Ann Garza.
Here.
Charles Fillinger.
Here.
Mayor Ball.
Here.
Rue Carvajal.
Here.
Raylyn McDonald.
Here.
Gloria Sarmiento. Am I
Here.
saying that right?
Yes.
And Megan Albiez Cordoba.
Here.
Okay, great. And we welcome you. Let me go to the second agenda item, citizens to be heard. There were none that I could find on the website or to my email, and I did check once I got my internet back, which was about 2 o'clock.
Crazy.
Okay, I'll move on to agenda item 3, and welcome Megan to the committee.
Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to point out we have a couple of things that I passed out. I don't know if there are any more copies available. I think I printed 6 or 7 copies
Yeah, we
out.
have extras.
Okay.
No, we have extras.
Yeah. One is the
Ken, I don't think you have this one.
the agreement that Gloria drafted up for the community center. There's a copy of that, and we'll come to it during the meeting. And also is another copy of an item that's on the agenda that people may we may discuss as we get to it on the agenda. So I'm sorry I didn't have more time to elaborate more on that item, but I didn't have internet access. So, okay, agenda item 4, discuss and possible action on interest in acquiring the Frisbee golf system for use in the park, and this is a picture of it right here. And Mayor Ball sent this to me, and so do you know more about how this works, Mayor?
No, I've seen it.
I know how it works. We've
Oh,
gone
oh,
to,
okay,
there's a
okay.
river park here that has like a huge, like a bunch of those.
Good.
It's a Frisbee, especially, there's different Frisbees, ones that go further out, ones that go faster. And you're supposed to aim it at that net, and the chains will catch it. And it's like golf. Like if you get it in the first throw, you get higher points than you would if you take a couple.
Yeah,
of
they
turns.
actually have courses laid out like golf courses.
Yeah.
All right.
Dog legs and.
I figured it was something like that, but I didn't know how it was scored and how far apart those things were and how many you set out. I know they're about $100 a piece, and then I guess you would have to have the Frisbees also, and then from what I saw when I looked this up, there's 2 types. One you can implant in the ground, or one that I guess you could just is portable.
Set it up, yeah.
Set it up, and I don't know which way we would want to go if we decided this was a good idea. So I'll just open it up for discussion and see what we think. Do you think this would be a valuable asset to have for?
There's a pretty active group, and they're on Facebook, that does a lot of disc golf around San Antonio areas, and they'll even go out here towards Pleasanton, or I think it's Pleasanton or Floresville that has the courses, and it gets pretty active. We've gone there to go fishing, or to look to see where we can fish, and there's like it's a whole group of people like doing it.
So it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing, and it's really neat because these courses are huge, and like there'll be like this clearing of just like a tunnel of trees, and then the goal is like on the bottom, and you have to like aim it from like a good distance.
Yeah, but how far do you think?
Well, it's just it starts off easy, and then they get a little bit harder with more obstacles, and
So about how many do you need? Like
I think it's how many holes are in a golf course?
18.
18. Okay,
But
then there was
you can have a 9
Yeah,
hole.
9 hole.
9.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that park is 9, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a thing.
So it'll be about $1,000.
And then
right there.
everyone takes their own frisbees. You don't have them like community
Oh,
frisbees.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
everyone has like their sets that.
And you
they're
score just like a golf.
So my thought was maybe we could do a couple of them, maybe the portable ones, because like Rue was saying, a lot of times a course is set up and those are probably fixed items. They're
Yes.
not
Yeah.
movable.
No.
And that way, if there's a great interest in it, if nothing else, it's something fun for people to practice. You know, if they just want to get better, to go to another course to do it, or just something to do, and it's not age specific. It's
No,
kind of
we would see like
available to
entire
I could
families.
see a couple
out
of these
there.
set in the area between the pavilion and the playground. Because we have some up and down there.
Right.
And if it starts catching on, we could place these on the walking trail. You know, from the trail where we have a clear area where you have to shoot between these two trees. Because I looked up the videos and some of it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But
challenge with the portable ones is I didn't know about the weight, how much they weigh, because you wouldn't want to leave them out there, because they would disappear. But, you know, it may involve a cart. I mean, maybe, you know, it would be
Might
one of those
sail.
things that,
Can they be cemented in?
well, they have two different versions. One, it is a permanent set, but they also have the
Portable.
the portable ones.
I think this is a portable one here. I think it all has to do with the base.
How tall are these?
I'd say they're about 5 feet maybe.
That's what
The
I was
ones I
thinking,
saw.
about
Oh.
five. Yeah.
And we can always
kids,
we can always put like a cement
It
slab and then
missed with
chain
me
it on
too
there
when I
and then
looked
move
at
it.
sorry.
That's all right.
Or
I'm just looking to see if
Something
it
in the ground.
has some detail.
Yeah.
after a few hours, they could probably pull it out.
Doesn't say, so.
I just thought it could kind of add to the activities in the park. It was relatively inexpensive. It's not age specific.
Well, I think this would be good, because right now we do have the playground for the little kids, and for the older kids, there's just the basketball. So maybe,
Plugging up the toilets.
paper.
The problem would be, you know, setting them out there and making sure that they don't disappear when we set them out there, or would we want people to know they're available if they come pick them up and they sign for them and then they have to bring them back?
And again, that goes back to the weight. I don't know what's involved in that.
You know, they with the chains, how heavy do the chains look when?
They're pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it would have to be,
Heavy.
yeah, and I don't see kids doing it, and
We do have a gator. I call it a gator. It's a four-wheel utility vehicle. And we do have a small trailer. In fact, we have the water trailer that doesn't have any water in it yet, I don't believe. But,
no.
so, I mean, we do have the ability to cart them around if need be. It would just be a matter of public works or,
so really then they would have to schedule the setup of the things.
yeah, they could do that.
Yes.
Or I don't know. It's certainly something to consider.
No, I mean,
I
if
think
we
it would-
bought 3 of them and set them up like Charles said in that space there and had a little go-round, we could try it. It would cost us $300.
Well, here's consideration for things in the park. We have a lot of natural area out there, so you want to be very cautious about that because there's wildlife out there. It could be snakes. It could be, you don't want somebody losing a frisbee off in the underbrush and then we'd have to call Rue to come help us.
Yep.
The park is called Greytown Park. It's going towards Floresville.
Okay.
You can see like that's all where they have all the little
What's it
circles. Greytown
Greytown,
Park.
I know where Greytown
You're
is.
having the moment over there?
Yes, ma'am. They also have the nudist camping.
Yeah, the nudist camp is there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all blocked off.
You know,
We drove by there. My son's
Is
like,
that in the
"You
same
guys see
area?"
nothing?"
You can climb a tree.
I never have
No,
figured out
I'm
where
just
that's at. I know it's off of 181 somewhere, right?
They have like huge gates. You can't see
Yeah.
anything.
You can't see it.
Shucks.
And maybe we just do one as
Try it out.
just for people to practice.
And it's not only like 1 or 2. Like you can have kids all around it, and just as long as
Yeah,
they
that's
write
a good
their name
idea,
on their
yeah.
frisbees, they know which ones is
We
theirs.
can do that in the mornings instead of walking.
There you go. Get your upper body workout.
There you go.
Get lead frisbees and really get a workout.
Oh, crap.
Or get 2 and kind of space them out, but
A discus.
I'm leery to make
Yeah,
a
yeah.
large investment in it without knowing if there's really that much interest. But I think it was an inexpensive enough option that we could add it to the activities that are available in the park.
Yeah, we don't have,
sounds
even
like
have to
fun.
get board approval for it, right? It's
You do
only
not.
$94 according to this
Yeah.
on Amazon.
I think I would get one that is a permanent fixture. And like I say, set it between the pavilion and the playground, and because that way you could have short distance, you could have long distance. There's a lot of space out there.
And that area is maintained, they do mow
And
through.
that area is maintained, so you could back up to the wooded area.
True.
So that's my thought, and you know,
I'm
How
not
much
opposed
is
to that.
how much is the permanent one?
I didn't look at the permanent one, but it isn't that much
It wasn't
more.
that much more, huh?
Yeah.
And that solves the having to move it question.
Yeah,
It would be good
and-
for practice too.
That's
Like in
what I-
case we start, you do put someone along the walking trail. They practice there first, so they get the hang of it,
Exactly.
and then move on.
Yeah.
that's,
Okay, so
I'm
then,
good. Let's get one and see how.
and I'll look
it
up how
resolves.
much the permanent one cost and then get back with,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it
with
was that much.
Charlotte
I wonder how far down in the ground that would have to go to cement it. How long is the pole, I wonder?
Well, not on that one, on the other one, it would be configured,
yeah, it's
For that.
configured for in-ground,
yeah.
so,
Yeah, it won't be more than 2 or 3 feet.
yeah.
Be deep
Okay.
enough to keep vandals.
Yeah.
They'd have to come in with a hacksaw and really work at getting it out of there.
Yeah, because they have vandals over in Pleasanton too.
They certainly do.
They're
No shortage of that.
I know they do. Okay, I'll move on to agenda item number 5. Discuss and possible action on approval of the rental agreement for the community center. And Gloria was great what she drew up. I sent it to the city attorney and she sent me an email back and said that this was pretty much okay. She's gonna polish it up a little bit, and she said she'd have it back in time for the city council meeting on Thursday. I will then ask for approval, because I know you have people that want to rent their
This
community
weekend.
center.
Somebody
This
this
weekend.
Oh,
weekend.
this weekend, really?
And he's
Yeah.
very adamant, he doesn't want to take his money somewhere else.
Well, if I don't think the council will, will. Well, I don't. You never know, but
Do you
I
think we
don't
can-
think they will.
Can we kind of
Disapprove
use
this?
this for this weekend
I-
before the attorney does
I
the,
wouldn't want to do that without council approval, in case something did happen. but I don't think the council will.
What kind of event are they looking for?
It's a birthday party.
For what age group?
I think the little boy's turning 5.
But they're pretty rowdy, you know.
It's the most dangerous kind.
They got that list complete.
He was just saying that it would be convenient because with the weather, you don't know if it's raining. It's right here, and
He's been in there
He's been in there.
and he loves it.
Yeah, so he calls me every day. There, he calls
Do you
me
know how
every day.
many they're looking?
I think he said 25 people, 20 to 25 people.
I don't think there'll be a problem,
For this
Gloria.
Saturday,
Sunday.
Sunday?
For Sunday? Well, I think it's already on the agenda for tomorrow, or for
Yeah, it is. It's
Thursday.
on the agenda
That's right.
already.
I can't
Yeah.
even think what day this is.
Yeah, Charlotte told me that it's on the agenda, so.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if I have anything from the attorney, but I don't.
There's nothing, because I looked at it right before I came to see if she
Yeah.
had sent anything, but she did say she would have it.
Yeah, okay. It's a pretty simple deal.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too.
Uh,
So,
I,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
have any
If the
objections.
attorney does not, address it, let's just go ahead and run this one by council.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
And,
Is that
Because
copy
it's-
that you have a marked up version from the attorney, or is that the one that?
No, it's the
Gloria
one that
sent?
Gloria, I just
Okay.
took it from her email, put it on Word and provided copies for everybody.
but like I say, lacking the attorney's input, let's go with this form and have the birthday party.
I'm good for
Sunday.
That's
that,
what I'm thinking.
yeah.
So,
They're 5 years old.
so can Gloria go ahead and call and
Just let's wait,
absolutely set it in
I
stone?
don't see
or-
why not.
it's up to you
Charles, is there
guys.
anything in that agreement that, from a liability perspective, that is a concern?
I don't see
I don't
anything.
think so.
Okay,
You know, and we have general liability insurance anyhow,
exactly.
so.
Yeah, and Cassandra did say that she didn't see anything wrong with it.
Right.
Yeah, like I say, let's run this by council Thursday and
Yeah, that's what I'm
Will
going to
that, will
do.
that work if the council makes the decision Thursday night? Is that enough time for you? I mean, you could certainly reach out to him and kind of give him an update on what
I
we're
did.
thinking.
I told him yesterday that because he calls me every day. I feel bad. So I told him I would have an answer for him today, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm leaning towards,
I'm not even sure that I'm not even sure we have to pass this by council.
I didn't want to do it unless the attorney said we didn't have to, or we had to. I was just, but I didn't want to go ahead and not run it by council and then something happened and then we
Yeah.
were screwed. So, better be safe than sorry, but I think this will cut it. Just get them to sign it and at least we're halfway covered.
Yay,
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
good.
Famous last words.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, right, yeah. Okay, let's move on to agenda item 6. Discuss possible action on interest of applying for grant monies for park projects. Now, I talked to Gary Smith and Mr. Reese at the state, and the park grants have been released, and they close on October 1st. Now, I don't know if we're still interested in doing that, but Gary, no, it's Gary Reese and, what's the other, with this, is it Gary Smith? Yeah, it's Gary Smith and Dan Reese. Dan wants to know if we want to move forward. Dan is from GrantWorks,
Here's my
Oh,
concern.
yeah, Gary's from here.
Very similar to what we just went through with the CDBG discussion.
Yeah,
You know, we have committed to a grant and therefore it disqualified us from participating in the CDBG.
yeah.
I don't know where that fits into that. So I think before we would move forward, my thought is that we should probably opt into CDBG next cycle, which would be next year. So we're kind of in that area where if we worked with TDA for a grant, it may flow over and prevent us yet again from joining CDBG. I don't know. That would be a good question.
You know, it's a
Let's
damn
talk to the
shame.
grant people, but I don't see where, the parks, Texas Parks and Wildlife crosses paths with.
I think because they all get their money from the federal.
But one of the grants is a federal grant. One of the grants is a federal grant. The Trails grant is federal.
Yeah.
The Parks grant is state, I believe. But that's a damn shame that.
Well, and I don't know, I'm just saying that's something to consider before a decision is made, a final decision is made.
When are they going to make that decision? Do we
Well,
know?
no. So two different things.
Oh,
I
okay.
think what we need to do is Gary is with GrantWorks,
Yeah.
and Robert Reyna is with Bear County CDBG. So I think we need calls to both of them explaining, here's what we want to do, and here's our questions about qualification and participation. If you can work with Gary at GrantWorks to let him know.
What we're doing?
Yeah, let him know that we are considering opting in to Bear County CDBG next year for the next cycle, I think
Okay.
2023. And then in the meantime, I can go back to Robert Reyna and Bear County and ask them the same question. And then we can come back and decide.
We don't want to disqualify.
Right. I understand that.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't even know if we don't know if we'd get either one of these park
Exactly.
grants, and we don't know if we'd get CBDG
We
or
don't
whatever it
know.
is either.
Exactly.
So
And
we don't want to
still
work
even know if we're getting
against
the
each other.
drainage, the Loman Lost Hills or Loman Hilltop Peaks.
Right. Yeah.
We're waiting on a decision on that.
So, but here's my question, in lieu of all that. If we do get the okay to do it and not disqualify ourselves from the other entity, what do we want to shoot for as far as the parks grants?
My goal has always been a walking, biking trail in the scenic park.
From New Methodist to
Waterwood
Waterwood
Pass.
Pass.
From New Methodist to
It's
Waterwood
that
Pass?
long
Yeah,
stretch.
we have 22 acres of
Would that be,
scenic parkland.
right, I know what you're
We-
talking about.
Yeah, but let's cut it out. It's a ditch. And we would
Over an
like,
underground spring.
we have a natural spring area, and we would like a walking trail for that approximately 2 miles.
So we want a 2-mile trail, which would cost a fortune.
Well, and here's the deal. So this is that same park area that we've talked about in the past where
Yeah.
we had San Antonio River Authority come out. It is an area that needs to be protected. It would be a costly endeavor, which is why I'm thinking a grant for Texas Parks and Wildlife, just because it's a conservation issue. It deals with water. There may be more funding and
Yeah, I think Sarah could be involved in funding that. I know Texas Parks and Wildlife could be involved in
Well,
funding that.
if it would have to be the Trails grant.
Yeah.
trails grant.
Yeah, and that's a 50% match. So, but
But
you can use, it doesn't have to be money. it could be,
That doesn't have
Time
to be
and
money,
material.
it could be in kind,
yeah.
and
So that's why we would,
here's the deal. If Parks and Wildlife will fund 50% of it, and Sarah would fund 30% of it, that puts us into a 20% participation, and that's, the goal is always to leverage grants. Because if we come in and say, okay, we can, you know, we can provide 10% of this fund. Now we need to find people to provide 90%.
well,
If we can find local organizations to fund another 10%. But, you know, because until you get the grant and the checks in the bank, you're not doing anything anyhow.
right, exactly, but, and then we have to look at the, you know, the details of the grant, if we can use those other entities to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why we would need GrantWorks to research all that out.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what we want to do if we get clearance to go ahead and get a grant.
So I will reach out to Robert Reyna to ask him that, but what I need from you before I do that is specifically what department, you know, is it Texas Parks and Wildlife, or who is it? What is, any information you can give me on that particular grant,
Okay.
or
good.
either one of them, because maybe one can and one can't, I don't know.
Well, I'll get with Dan Reese, and I did talk to him today, but I didn't know what we would want to do. I did tell him that, you know, we were thinking about doing something, but I wasn't sure what it would be.
An alternative to that, in a more short-term, easier project, would be improving the existing walking trails that are there in the park.
That's what I was thinking, but it would be nice to have another trail through.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get with him and it would be the Trails Grant that we would be going after, and I'd try and ask him to get us at least the prospectus so that we would know all the details of what's allowed and what's not. And I'll bring it back on the next meeting, and I'll get you the information you need,
Okay.
Mayor. Okay, let's move on to, any other discussion on that?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to agenda item number 7, discuss and possible action on updates from the community center. Gloria, I always want to put that on there because you always have new and interesting things to talk about. Have you moved any on the items you brought up last time, on the clothing?
We've been getting donations on that. We sorted stuff out. There's still a lot of people donating things. We just got an air hockey table, so remember we were discussing about purchasing one? So somebody donated one to us. It's really good. We found a lot more.
No, I was just gonna, don't forget the table tennis.
Okay. We also got a conveyor belt, which is my favorite thing ever in the whole wide world. That was donated as well. So on Fridays we have those Be a Champion meals. So the people they're heavy boxes. So we saw that they were struggling, so we got a conveyor belt for the building.
Happy with it.
Very, very happy. We used it this past Friday and it was great. It actually it comes in accordion and then it extends.
And it turns.
And it turns like a little thing. It's so cool.
And I have, let me just add,
Okay.
she said it was donated, and it was donated.
From her.
Gloria gave up her diamond ring, earrings
I didn't give them up. I
for
lost
her
them.
anniversary gift
She lost them on the
to buy the conveyor belt for the
Gloria.
community.
Gloria,
center.
don't ever move.
She's so red.
I just.
But I did see a video where we have some sharks on the
Air hockey?
air
thing?
hockey
That was hilarious.
that are,
That wasn't.
they're laying in wait for innocent victims got it.
Are you getting a lot of visitors during the week?
We do get visitors, especially on Fridays. We do have kids coming in. There's one that she's my best friend, she says. She comes in and she utilizes the puzzles and the toys and everything like that. On Saturday, after the community yard sale, I had some boys come in, so I stayed a little bit longer. So they were looking around. They used the air hockey table for a little while to get out of the heat because they were playing basketball. And I loved it, so I didn't mind staying afterwards.
Yeah.
It was great. And I told them to tell their friends. So they said, okay.
Cool.
So we have a lot of things happening.
And in the
actually.
next month or so, hopefully, we're gonna have some kind of a schedule that'll be open during the day
Yes.
where the kids can come in and play and then.
Occupancy.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that occupancy little plaque thing.
You not heard from them?
I have not. He told me to wait. Oh, well, I was
Let me get
calling
you an
him.
answer.
He was
Yeah.
gonna fax it here
Yeah,
or
he said he
whatever.
would just send it over here, so that could be easier.
Because he got tired of Gloria calling.
Got tired of me calling him.
No worries. I'll take care of
But yeah, we're gonna come up with a set schedule. That way we could have the kids coming in. The Be a Champion is going
Great.
wonderfully. They changed our food though.
It threw us off a little.
It threw us off a little bit, but we got it done.
Why, what happened?
We have fresh milk now, but I mean, it's bad, but it's good at the same time. It's bad because we're like really rushing to get it out because they send them in some refrigerated totes, like mats, and then we have to separate the milk. And
Plus the burgers and stuff.
the food now is actually pulled pork sandwiches, brisket sandwiches, hoagies, hamburgers. So that's fresh.
Wow.
I know. So it's good, but it kind of puts pressure on us to get
make
it
sure it
going.
goes.
Do you
Yes.
have, we don't have any other refrigeration down there.
We have a big refrigerator in the center, but
Donated by Gloria's mom.
donated by my mother.
But it's all time sensitive with the,
Right. So we
Oh,
can't
you
keep it very
You
long.
can't keep it very long, yeah, okay, I understand.
But we do stay, it's from 2 to 5. We do stay after 5 if people say, hey, we're running a little bit late because people do get out of work around 5.
Yeah.
So we do stay. That Friday is all day. What else have we done?
So Charles, the ARPA funds that we're anticipating getting, would refrigeration unit fit into that?
I believe so.
I believe so too, because really those funds are really targeted towards COVID related.
And food distribution is a big part of that.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I'd write the check and take the hit if they come back and said you can't do
Well,
that.
we do have some resources to kind of run things by if we have a question about that, but I'm thinking that it would. Glory, would you mind checking into a couple of things? You know what you need, size-wise, for what you're getting in there. Could you get a couple of 2-3 prices on whether it be a chest size or configured refrigeration or whatever?
The commercial
Yes.
store type, double door, 50 cubic feet, about $2,000.
But there's another consideration with that.
No, that's 115 volts, 15 amps, or
I was going there.
plug it right into the wall.
Okay, just checking. An electrician as well. So, yeah, I would like to, I mean, that's something we've been talking about, and I think we will have the funding to do that. Regardless, we have funding proposed for next year for whatever you got going on down there. That would be a big hit to that budget line, but see what you can come up with on, and you're saying 50 cubic feet?
Yeah.
You think that would be sufficient for, I don't know how big that is.
Okay. 5 feet tall.
5 feet tall, okay.
Your size. Your size.
And
My size.
and 2 feet deep and 5 foot wide.
Like an ice machine? Like where they have the ice
Oh, that's
at the gas
big.
station?
Yeah, it's a pretty big
That is pretty
refrigerator.
good.
No,
Okay.
that's a commercial like they have in the store where you open the doors.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's,
And you gotta think that average refrigeration size in the home is what, like 20 cubic feet?
a big home refrigerator, freezer and refrigerator is 26 cubic.
20, yeah, so,
So you've got double that.
So
So,
it's
yeah.
just about double of
But
it.
And then it's all
make
refrigeration.
sure that whatever it is configured in a way, you know, we're not looking for a residential
No,
refrigerator. We
yeah.
need something that can hold gallons of milk.
How many
These
meals
are-
are you
And
open?
again, that's,
How many meals are you open?
We had 100 last.
We had 100 this past time, but we were at 150. They're messaging me that if we're ready to go to 150 again. I'm just scared with the fresh meals. A lot of people out here don't have refrigeration. And the
Can you get the shelf stable milk?
They
No,
gave
not
us
right
a
now.
little bit last time.
they gave us a
not
couple
much.
of boxes. That's what we had been doing prior the other
People
Fridays.
don't like it?
People love it.
They were out of it or
They're
something.
out from
And
their
so that's what we're getting
Oh.
right now is the refrigerator
It
stuff.
doesn't taste any different to me. That's what I buy. I keep it for
Yeah, it's good. Once you refrigerate,
emergency
it's good.
storage too, so.
The vendor that they get it from was out of.
Yeah, so they gave us, I mean, it sounds horrible and it sounds like we're complaining about hamburgers and stuff. Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, no. Was anybody
Good, because I had a cough so
on
bad.
that?
What happened?
No, the computer itself quit.
Oh.
It's,
Well, as long as you've got that one.
yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. I have no idea why that happened, sorry.
It was probably CIA or somebody.
Pretty sure it
The
was.
seaside
Or
theater.
the FBI one.
Yeah, they call me all the time. They do. I got called by the FBI 2 or 3 times now, and then when it says U.S. government, I pick it up and I say hello, and then I say, who is this? And they say, who are you? And I tell them, and they say, oh, never mind, and I hang up. And then I call them back, and they say, I say, who is this? And they say, oh, this is the FBI. I'm serious. And they say, I say, well, you just called me, why? And they say, oh, somebody probably just spoofed our number.
Oh, yeah.
So I worry. Why the hell is the FBI calling
I'd
me?
be changing my number.
It's all my fault.
I was right, I forgot I belonged to the ball cartel, no wonder.
Okay, back on track.
Yeah, and it's taped.
Yeah, we did that last time.
Okay, go ahead.
We had the community yard sale. Miss
We can-
Mayor got us some really cool signs. I think we just need to figure out a
We
way.
need some better posts.
Yes.
So what they are is they are the Coroplast signs. They're just on steroids. They're 4 foot wide, 2 foot tall, and it actually takes 2. They're just so big it takes 2 stakes. But what we found was that the standard H frames that we had been using really are not sufficient for that size. So I had suggested that we perhaps look at a couple of options. One would be, what I think would be cool would be, you know, if anybody's got a little mini auger, you know, it doesn't have to be very big, that to actually drill down into the ground, and let's set some PVC pipe flush, and then whenever you need to put your signs up, then, you know, we can take, I've got some lumber on my front porch that's little 1-bys, and you just sandwich them together, and we'll slide the thing between it and just set them in those holes, and then when you're done, you just pick them up and
Take them.
take them.
We could do that. Because, yeah, last time my husband and I were driving around trying to put them, and the easement, you figure there's sand everywhere else.
Except
this
in
is
the easement.
It's
Except
all
for
rock.
right there, it's
Yeah.
all
Right.
rock, so. it was a little difficult, and they weren't going all the way in, and then we had some wind, and then, one of them went missing.
Really?
But you're smart, you got his extra, so we're good.
I got 2 extra because I thought that might happen. And they're good signs. They'll work.
Oh.
The point was to have them big enough, and they just say the same thing. 3rd Saturday, so it's very generic. And we have arrows on them pointing, and we
Where-
just place them strategically so that anybody looking
Where the
can
arrows
easily
work.
find them and follow. So yeah, I've been needing to buy one of those little auger things anyway. It just fits in your drill. It's nothing spectacular. And then if we just figure out, I don't know, we wouldn't be going too terribly deep. Whether we need to call 811 to come mark places so we don't hit a gas line, water line, underground, anything.
Okay, so who am I calling? 811?
Yeah.
You can do it online. It's 811.org.
And they'll come and mark. I've done
Okay.
it.
But you have to tell them specifically. What I would do, reach out to them by email and ask them about depth. That you're wanting to put some signs that'll be about 18 inches to 24 inches deep. Is that a concern for any underground utilities? If it is, then your next
They're
conversation.
gonna wanna come out and mark anyhow, cause they
Yeah.
won't trust you. Cause I've done it.
Just go whatever.
Yeah.
I'll have my husband do it, I won't do it. I'm not to be trusted.
No,
else
they
have we
won't
done
trust
with the
anybody,
center?
cause they don't want you blowing the place up.
It's,
Painted the office. And
We painted
cleaned
the
it up.
office, so now the desk is in there.
have you seen it, Mickey?
I haven't been down, but I saw the pictures.
Oh, okay.
I'm impressed. I'm
We had to take
ecstatic
a piece
with
out
what y'all
of
done
the
down there.
desk.
Yeah, we had to take a piece out of the desk so it could fit in there, but I'm permanently leaving my machine there, so whenever we have to do crafts and stuff like that.
Your Cricut? So that's something that I'd like, I know I feed you a lot of craft stuff. Cause I'll be in bed and I'm like, that is so cool. So I'll send it to her, and the one last night had to do with recycling pill bottles.
We saw
Those
that.
I sent some to her.
Wasn't
to them.
that adorable?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's
I got
an
millions of them.
easy craft for kids to
I
do.
did have. I looked for them today and I couldn't find them.
tons
I'm
of
afraid I
empty pill
threw them away,
bottles.
but
I'm
it doesn't take
sure
long
there's lots of
'cause
people around here
we'll
that are willing
have
to
lots
donate
more.
empty pill bottles.
Yeah.
Yes,
To do
I used
definitely.
to have
crafts and
pearls in them.
stuff. Plus I'm still collecting
I don't know
bottle
if you should have
caps.
said that. I have a lot of empty pill bottles.
No, I'm an alcoholic.
Vitamin. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. We need to finish the meeting and then talk.
Don't tell them I have pill bottles.
Rinse out pill bottles
Exactly,
before using them.
Yeah.
exactly. But I was
Anything
thinking
else,
maybe during
Gordon?
the week,
Oh.
having like a craft, like a craft time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a particular thing, but some of the stuff that I've kind of sent your way is be kind of cool for people to come together and give, maybe print out some pictures for inspiration and say,
Right.
this is kind of what
What we're headed
yeah,
towards.
here's the supplies we're providing, y'all come on down and I'm still collecting for you. I have something in the car for you now.
She loves surprises.
I love surprises. But yeah, we're moving along with the community center. We got a lot of stuff in the works. We're just waiting on that occupancy
What
placard.
did you decide about painting the floor?
If it goes, I mean, we
The
can do
what?
it, the floor.
Do you want to make
Kind of
a
like
note,
what
find out,
Priscilla did in the back.
find out
Yeah.
what that material would cost, what supplies we would need to do that? And
We
let's
need
see.
rollers and it's a sealant.
Yeah.
And you just pick a color. It's like regular paint, but it just has that epoxy sealant on it.
See, I think that would be an easy fix. There's nothing wrong with the floors, they're just cosmetic from wear and
Stuff.
tear.
There's
Yeah.
one spot where there's a broken tile right by the door area.
Probably hauling stuff in or out,
Could be.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not too terribly concerned about that floor, but
I think it's great, and if we paint it in the way we have traffic, and especially with the food, it's gonna get scuffed again.
Yep.
So the floor is good right now. I think we could save that money to get like other craft classes or other things going for right now. The floor is not concerned, only to one person that, I mean,
Yeah, well,
Well, you're not gonna please
Can't-
everybody, so I
Can't
think
please
the
all the
floors are
people all the
fine.
time. That's,
I,
you know.
I've yet to go to any type of rec center that there wasn't scuffs or anything on the floor.
and again, it's cosmetic, it's not that
Exactly.
they're.
Yeah.
As long as my children are not falling
Damaged
through the
or
floor,
unsafe.
then you're good.
Yeah.
I think it's fine, and I mean, we could do it, it is possible, it's not gonna be millions of dollars or thousands of dollars, but I think I would
Yeah.
want to.
If only one person has mentioned that, let's, you think it's okay, 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 I think it's okay.
And the person who doesn't think it's
And-
okay isn't here.
And one
never is.
person,
What,
one person said, oh, the floor is scuffed. Let that one person make a donation to
There you
repair
go.
the floor.
well, I think you take a
Okay?
lot away from
Because I
what,
think we have an obligation to the city for responsible fiscal policy, and a scuffed floor after 3 years of use is pretty much normal.
Yeah.
We're not eating off the floor, you know,
My
so,
girls, my,
so,
We got a little cake.
you know, let it go.
That's what I think.
well, you have to
Put-
close down the community center in order to do that. So are you really
Put the
helping the
money in
community?
games or
Exactly.
puzzles
So-
or whatever, or activities, that rather than be concerned about one person is opposing a scuffed floor. Because if you paint it, in a year, it's gonna be scuffed
that's
again.
true.
Probably be stuck
It's a
here
floor.
6 months.
Yeah,
Kids
because we are
play.
really getting traffic, especially with those food deliveries, because
Yeah.
people come, their families come and pick up the boxes, and we have dollies that we're hauling the food
Right.
out with
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
milk and
No,
stuff, so
that,
it's gonna
uh,
happen again.
Yep.
Yeah, just let that go, and let's concern ourselves with 6 inches above the floor and up.
Yeah,
What can the community use?
right.
Because it's a floor, for God's sake. It's gonna get walked on, it's gonna get things drug across it.
Things are gonna get
Uh,
spilled.
Every
It's
Friday for
structurally
sure.
sound.
Every Friday for sure.
Right, okay.
I would just get beyond that comment from one person.
Yeah, because everybody else walks in there and they're,
Yeah, everybody else walks in there and says, oh, wow, this is great,
Absolutely.
you know.
And it's
One-
much better now that the AC's been repaired?
Although the one on
One-
the other end is starting
One,
to act up.
one
Didn't
worrying
they put a new
Wally
thermostat
comes in
in
and
that
says,
one?
oh,
It's,
Tell them to look up.
let him go.
Priscilla bought one for the front door, and he supposedly recharged it, but it's,
Okay, so just let me know whenever y'all need something like that, we'll have Beluga Air come back out. That's gonna be probably one of our bigger
yeah.
prices, because I know at one point, the unit, there was one unit that was about to fail.
Yeah. Well, he said it was cracked or whatever, and was
Oh.
supposedly sending an estimate.
I have not heard from him. Priscilla may have.
Priscilla said she hasn't either.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
So is there any more discussion? Okay, then I will move on to agenda item 8, and it is